real men and women, and welcome back to Real Men Fishing. And yes, look at that straight away, chubbly bubbly. Well, let me put it this way, we have given the river a good break for a few weeks because, like I've said all the way through this season so far, the weather has not been on our side whatsoever. Although it's been lovely to sit out in, it's not been perfect fishing weather by any means. We've had massive break-in temperatures and no rain really whatsoever. So we've had some nice storms, we've had a decent bit of rain. That did mean that the river got very high very quick and it was just unfishable. But now the levels drop back down to its normal safe state to be out here on. It's just perfect, really. The temperature could be maybe a little bit too high, but the water temperature should be fine. So, as we just saw there, straight into a fish, let's see if we can knock a few more out than we have done already this year. Wasted no time, bang out on the feeder. And would you even believe it? Didn't even have time for that to drop. And we're into another. Another little chub. Oh, actually, that's a dace, or was a dace, before he jumped out my hand. So there you go. Do we need any more proof than that the fish are definitely on the feed? We'll knock that straight back out there again. Haven't even put any feed out there yet. Let's see if we can get another one on the drop. Little twitch there as I went to put the rod down. So, as you can tell, I haven't got any carp rods out whatsoever today because, like I said before, trying to fish for carp in the middle of the daytime on the River Thames, unless you're in a spot where you're not going to get any boat traffic, you're really kind of wasting your time. We've got another little twitch there. And another fish. Oh no, he's come off. But I've come back to this spot for a good reason, and that is simply because this is the only spot really that I've had a significant run in the past on a carp, so, or at least fishing for carp. I didn't get the fish in, so I can't be 100% sure it was a carp. It could have been a barbel, it could have been a big chub, but it was definitely a nice screaming take. So while I'm here, I do want to keep my eyes peeled to see if there's any activity for the carp, especially over the other side of the bank there. And rather than sitting here fishing with a float, I'm going to stick with a feeder today on the maggots, see what silvers come out the Thames. I think these are all starting to all fall out of the same mould because I'm not really getting anything smaller or bigger than this now. Now the trouble I am having is there is still an awful lot of very, very small fish out there by the seams of it. I'm getting a lot of them jaggedy bangs on the twitchy end of the rod, which makes striking into everything quite difficult when to judge it really. When fish are that big, you never know if they're attacking your actual bait or if they're just banging into the feeder. I'm not going to complain because so far, so good. Although these swans need to get out my swim. Or just stay there. Another little twitch bang on the drop. That's better. That was a slower take. What we got here? Looks like a roach. Oh no, it's a perch. In the bottom lip. Nice change for a perch. That was a completely different bite to what I've been experiencing. I actually for a second thought that might have been a bream. It was very slow and deliberate. Certainly nice not to have to get the disgorger out and do surgery on a perch because it's swallowed it. That one's a little bit bigger for the perch. does seem, even with the chub that I've had, that they are certainly just slowly but surely getting a little bit bigger. So with a bit of luck, we'll have a decent sized perch today. Oh, that's not bad. And that's not a bad little roach, really, to be honest with you. I didn't think we were going to start getting silverfish now because the perch seemed to have come in and it seemed to scare the chub off, but it'd be nice if we knock into a few more of these as well, to be honest. What the hell? This seems to be what's giving me all them tiny little twitchy bites. It's a little bleak. I'm glad I haven't been smashing into these all day long. Okay, so this is turning out to be a pretty nice session, to be honest with you. The sun is starting to break through the clouds. The weather is absolutely glorious and the fish are biting. What more could you ask for? Now, the chub have definitely died down in the swim, and I think that is because the perch do seem to have come in now. Another nice bite there. So I am expecting the silverfish bites to drop down a little bit. But I mean, if there is a big chub out there, that ain't gonna be scared of a small perch. And it'd be nice to get something over a pound. I haven't had nothing over a pound yet this year. But at least the fish are biting. This is more what I expect from the River Thames. Like I said before, when we was fishing in the middle of the summertime and at the beginning of the season, we hadn't had any rain literally from the start of the season for a good couple of months solid. And now we've had a decent bit of rain, we've had some fresh air. There is a little bit of colour to the water today as well, which is really helping the fishing out. Rebuilding that swim up, trying to get them fish to feed a bit more confident, and I'm literally casting it every time in the same spot because you've got to look at it as an investment. You're building up that area. There's no point having little pockets of bait knocked all around the whole swim. If you're on the fish, stick to it and build that swim. We've got a little twitch there straight away. And another one. These could be small fry, just checking out the loose maggots that are coming out the feeder. What I want is a real confident knock on the end of that feeder rod. It is quite distracting with so many small fry right in front of your face and perch zooming in every now and then. It's hard not to be distracted by that. But... oh, that was more of a lift bite, but nothing there. When I'm using a feeder, I like to have it reasonably tight, not ridiculously tight, but I like to have a slight bend in the rod to give me that notification if something does pick the bait up rather than pull it away, because obviously it will all depend on which direction the fish is going when it picks the bait up. If it's swimming away from your rod, then it's going to pull the end of the rod down, but if it picks it up and swims towards you, then, you know, if you haven't got a semi-tight line at least, you're not going to notice when that happens. So I'm going without anything on the feeder this time. And see if we can get a quicker, more confident bite. I'm quite surprised on how many boats have been down. I thought it might have been a little bit quiet today, being Monday, but they were out in force because the sun's out, I think. Another couple of little twitches there. Another one. There we go, have we got it? No, we have not. Okay, so this time I'm going to put some maggots in the feeder. It's obviously still not as busy down there as it was. Let's give that a go. don't even, yeah, there we go. I didn't even have a chance to put that on the rest. What do we got here? Nice roach. Oh no, it's a chub. That's better. For a chub, to our American viewers, these can grow to over 8 pounds. So this is still a relatively small chub, but he's certainly a lot bigger than the ones that we have been having. Let's slip him back. And that was the kind of thing that I was talking about. So we had a little bit of a quiet spell there. I really should sort the end of this rod out. I've missed an eye, but the fishing's been so good that I haven't been able to have time to really break down and restart it up. But yeah, what I was saying was we had a bit of a quiet spell there. And again, just building that swim up with a couple more feederfuls of maggots. That last cast there, literally, I felt that fish hit that before I even got the rod back on the rest. So I will expect now that this bite will be a little bit longer because of the commotion. So we'll stick a feeder full of maggots back out there again. But fingers crossed, it won't take too long for another bite. It's been a good old day down here today for a change. This is more like it. This is what the Thames is definitely all about. Now, if I had time to stay here until the dark time come in, you know, I would be tempted to start putting pellet out there and get some bream in. But I'm not going to be here until dark tonight. But we'll certainly do our best to knock as many out as we can. We're going a little bit backwards again. Slightly smaller chub again this time. Still a lively little sod duck, and away he goes. I'm not doubting the fact that there are bigger chub out there. There has to be bigger chub out there. I've had a couple now that are a reasonable size, and like I said, they can get to over 8 pound. The bigger chub do sometimes tend to be a little bit more lonesome, but I would be more surprised to not get something a little better than that than if I did. Do you know what I mean? Providing, of course, all this commotion doesn't bring a pike in, because that will no doubt kill this swimmer. But hopefully we'll nick that bigger fish before he turns up. It's a gudgeon. Now this is what all anglers pretty much break their teeth on. A wee gudgeon. Probably the size of the bigger one that we had earlier. I think these are all starting to all fall out of the same mould, because I'm not really getting anything smaller or bigger than this now. This is about the 4th chub of the same size. Let's stick this guy back because the sun is really starting to blaze now. But it hasn't had much of an effect on the fishing, so there's still that chance of getting that daddy chub. And that is the one that we want. We want the something at least over a pound. Although, you know what? I ain't going to be disappointed today either way, because the fishing's been amazing. I had bite after bite after bite. I've had a couple of average perch and a couple of average chub. And to be honest with you, that's the best we've done so far this year. This year, like I said earlier, with the way the weather was at the beginning of the season, the fishing was an absolute disaster. And now it's starting to replicate what it used to be like. And like I said, this is what the Thames is all about. It's all about fish like this and the anticipation of knocking into something that will pull back. Now let's knock this back out there. Try not to hit the man on the banana boat. Again, same spot, and again, as soon as that rod hits the water, I see fish coming out. I'm keeping my hand on the rod and lowering it gently this time, because I've been having bites on the drop, because there is that many fish in here. But like I said, it's just nothing of a significant size. But the sun's out, I'm here, the day couldn't be any better really. Well, as I just said, everything just seems to be coming out the same mould, but now we're going backwards a bit smaller in size again. But it's still a bubbly chubbly. The perch seem to have disappeared out the area. I don't know how many of chub I've had this size today now. I'm just going to chuck him straight back. And as for the boat traffic, I don't know if you can hear it. It's been non-stop now for about an hour and a half, literally. I think everybody has thought this is going to be the last chance to get their toys out, and they're all making the most of it, like that monstrosity there, look. I wonder which one of them's got the biggest dick. The interesting thing about boats is with a car, there's a bite on there straight away. With a car, you have to get the emissions tested every year. Make sure that the pollution isn't too bad, otherwise you're not allowed to drive it. Some of the smoke that has been pouring off the back of some of these boats has been an absolute joke, and I think it's about time that either tests or some technology was introduced to cut that down a bit, because the pollution is absolutely disgusting. It can't be doing fish or the bird life or the plant life any good whatsoever. Especially when you're seeing that rainbow oil slick that goes past the second a boat goes past. It doesn't do the river any good whatsoever. But hey, if I had the money, I'd probably have a great big yacht and all, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be sitting on there with a safari hat. I'd be sitting on there with a nice rod pod with 3 carp rods, moored up by some nice broken down willow tree, rather than going up and down the river, upsetting as many anglers as possible. Another little twitch there, still non-stop with these bites. I would love to see this rod bend in half though, to be fair. Surprised on the amount of gudgeon that we've had, just one this year. Used to be a time when all you would catch out of here is gudgeon and perch. So it's nice that we are definitely getting a lot more chub, which brings bright signs for the future, but at the moment still no signs of anything that's any bigger than a juvenile really. This is the difference between a natural river like this and a lake. Even when you take stocking away from the equation, you need to realise that a fish has to go through so much just to survive in this river. So to get to a decent size, you know that they've already probably been through so much, you know. There's so many weirs that they can fall over, there's so many snags in here and boats to contend with. Not to mention the amount of crap that must be laying on the bottom of here, like supermarket trolleys and plastic bags. So to actually catch a survivor, it's no easy feat from the river, but it does make it that little bit more special when you do. I've picked this spot not only to spot out carp, but we have a very wide piece of shallow plateau here, which I can visibly see where the drop-off is. Now, there are many small fry about here right in the margin, and as before that we've seen, there are perch really zooming up here and snatching the small fry. But that's smaller perch. Smaller perch are a lot more active than the bigger ones. But I'm trying to sort of hopefully guess that if there aren't any bigger perch in this area, they're going to be hiding over the back of this plateau for an ambush. The bigger perch are more like pike. They ambush their prey. The smaller ones can be a lot more aggressive because they really need to get their feed on and get big as soon as possible. But you'll find that with a bigger perch, it will be more happy to just sit and chill in an area and wait for something to come by its way. So I'm kind of hoping that with this plateau, and not only that, but there is some streamer weed just to the left hand side of me as well, which is an ideal place for some perch to sit and chill in there. So fingers crossed that around this area, with a little twitch there should be some nice perch. Again, I'm not going to put another feeder out there yet, but I will on the next one. A lot of boats going past, which means if I do put it in, it's just going to wash the maggots straight down river anyway. So I'll wait for a gap in the boat. Now the only thing that does worry me about this is we had it before when we was float fishing, if you remember. You can make a lot of commotion bringing in small fish in and out, and that can attract huge predators, and that will put the swim off completely. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen today. One good tip, if you're using ground bait where there's a lot of predators, it can often be a good idea to use a dark ground bait, because then that doesn't show the fish so much, if that makes sense. If you've got a really light coloured ground bait on a dark bottom and a shoal of fish above that, then it would make it very easy for a pike to spot them fish. Whereas if you've got a dark ground bait, it can help to camouflage them fish, certainly from above. Although we've had a couple of twitches there, I think now we've had a little bit of a break with the boat. And see if we get another one. If not, I'm going to put a feeder out there for the maggot. Certainly not coming as quick and as fast as they were when we first started. Let's fill that up. We've got half a maggot left. That's not going to help our cause in any way. Just going double maggot, one red, one white. I like to introduce a little bit of red when I'm fishing like this, because apparently perch prefer red. I don't know what survey they filled out to get that information, but apparently they do. I always like to get a pint of white and a pint of red. One of each on the hook. I felt one on the drop there, but he's not there. But neither are my maggots, so it's probably a good idea. We've got one left on there, we'll stick another red one on. Little twitch there, oh, big twitch there, but I've missed that. Give me another one. Definitely starting to get a bit chilly now. There we go. What we got here? And it's a carp. Try again. And well, what can I say? He's pretty cute actually, to be fair. But like I said earlier, today has really boosted my confidence because the river does seem to be fishing back to its normal state. Well, look at that, that's a much better perch. Probably the biggest one that we've had all year. I'm just gonna slip it back. But he's not a massive perch by any means, but if I caught perch like that all day long, I'd be a well happy chappy. So, let's see if we can get one a little bit bigger. So, it's been a pretty damn good day so far. That perch was stunning, but now things have definitely died down a lot. I'm not getting the bites anywhere near as much as I was earlier on today. And I think it's because we've got a bit more overcast and a little less light. I imagine the smaller fish now are starting to go into hiding to get away from the bigger predators that are going to be out on the prowl. But it's been a good day. It's been back to how it usually is, and that's a great sign. It gives me a lot more confidence to come out here again and start trying again for carp and bigger species. So next time I think I'll do a later session maybe and see if we can bag something a little bit bigger. I'm surprised that we haven't had a bigger chub than what we've had. We were certainly beginning to get slightly bigger in the weights and size there, but nothing again significant. We've got another bite there. That was a very slow, deliberate bite. Oh, it could have just been the feeder dislodging itself. But yeah, that does give me a lot more confidence to get back out here with the bigger rods. Now, I want to give a big congratulations to Josh who won our pop-ups and spray. I'll be sending them out to you. I've already sent them out to you actually. You should be getting them very soon. And if you want to know about how you can win some pop-ups and bait spray, we will be doing some more giveaways very soon. Hit our subscribe button and join us on Facebook, because if you join us on Facebook, you're going to get notified way before anybody who watches our videos. I usually go on there and let people know when the new video is coming out. I release pictures there, some news and bits and bobs that I've found, and it's a great place for you guys to come and drop your pictures down there and tell us your fishing stories. I'll drop the link in the description for our Facebook page. And also, while we've been away, I have actually made another film, but it's got nothing to do with fishing. And if you're into your crime documentaries and things like that, you might want to check it out. I'll leave the link in the description for that as well. But let me just warn you first, before you head over there and watch that movie, that it has got some very harsh language and it does touch on a very touchy subject. It's very graphic, and if you're sensitive about things like that, maybe not give it a watch. But the link's in the description for that as well. Hopefully now I'll bag into another nice big perch as the sun's going down. But if not, it's been a pretty damn good day. So fingers crossed, we'll get another couple of bites before it gets too dark to fish. So the sun is starting to dip behind the trees now, shadows are getting a lot longer, and waiting for a bite has become a lot longer too. I've had nothing since that big perch. I think what's happened is of one or two things, either because the sun's starting to go down, maybe the fish are just finding their sleepy spots, or the pressure that we've had on them fish and the commotion that we've been making all day long could have drawn some big predators in, and that's made them all vanish out the way. But one thing is for sure, it has gone dead. So I'm gonna have to pack up now, I think, head on home and come back down here next time, and fingers crossed that will be the time we bag something nice. So until then guys, you know the score by now. Tight lines, heavy nets, and I will see you later.
We got your soul, hunting alone, traveling from the deep forest into the sun, in war that's never